Bob Wood, National Program Director of the Chum Group, worked with us in producing...
Hold up, before we get started...
Guess who's coming? Guess who's coming? Guess who's coming?
Dan Calvin.
Back again! Who is he? Just your favorite DJ savior. Using and confusing beats that you never heard. 1990. Put a smile on your face like ultra bright.
You're just fessing, man. I don't even want to hear about it.
You're listening to Make and Break Radio on RadioMackinac.org. Welcome to Make and Break Radio, episode 68 for Memorial Day weekend 2012. Yes, this is actually being recorded about a month and a half late. It's actually July 17th or something like that. Took a long time to finally get this one going. The recording was, how they say in the industry, lost. That being said, I'm your host, Daniel Calvin. I'm glad that you're listening, and I'm glad that you were patient. This week's episode was, like I said, Memorial Day weekend. It was live on the road with a special guest, Sean Finster Finnegan from 104.5 Bob FM, Traverse City, Michigan. We recorded live at the McGuire-Slevin household with a bit of a party going on in the background. We had spaghetti served, and dogs had their say as to what they thought needed to be added to the show. This show features a discussion of customer service, a in-depth detail about what actually did happen to Make and Break Radio / RadioMackinac.org during the chili cook-off of 2012 at Cawthorn's Village Inn, as well as a story of lizard resuscitation. There's more to it than that. Once again, I want to thank Finster for stopping by, and this is only probably a third, maybe a fourth of what it was that we actually did that night. But this is all that got saved. You could say that it was a bit of a lost episode, as I said before. Nonetheless, let's get on with it and enjoy. I was on the phone today, and I thought I heard the recording that I was listening to say, for low-class service, press 2. It wasn't until the sales rep answered the line only to hear me laughing when I realized that to press 2, I got world-class service. The enunciation just wasn't quite what it should have been.
You know, you were right when you said this might inspire me to come up with a random thought.
All right.
But when you are calling, say, the cable company or anything, and it is voice computer, for agent, press 1. Okay, now tell me what your problem is. Like, I just want to talk to a human being. I don't want to enter any more codes. I want to talk to a human. Stop giving me the computer runaround and answer the phone. Then, when somebody finally does answer the phone, they are in India or something and can barely speak English. Get some Americans doing those jobs. There you go.
I want spaghetti.
We're trying to do a radio show live in the living room.
What? Spaghetti eating's great because you can't see all the spaghetti sauce build up on the bottom of my lip as I slurp the spaghetti
That's
in.
not spaghetti sauce.
Oh, God.
So, Dan Calvin.
Years of embarrassment.
I want to ask you, how long have you been doing these shows on RadioMackinac.org?
This is episode 68 of Make and Break Radio on RadioMackinac.org.
Do you know, that's funny, I call my shows episodes as well. What made you start doing internet radio? What made you say, you know what, this is something that I can do?
For a long time, I had this idea that it was something that I could do. but it was more of an idea of like, I'll never do that. And then at some point, Mary McGuire, director of the Tourism Bureau, approached me with this idea. We were discussing something. It was concluded, hey, what about a show that would be playable, like sitting around a campfire out in the backyard on a Friday night, play some punk music, tell a couple of jokes, people sitting around drinking. I had this mental image of people sitting around a bonfire, listening to my show, drinking Bush, just chilling out, listening to Black Flag. And
here you are, 64 episodes deep.
Yeah, and it's been just over a year. I'm 68 episodes deep. I've had a couple of weeks of not having episodes for various reasons. I've had episodes where I haven't had any original content. I'm just doing like reruns. Stuff comes up. I have a full-time job that I can't necessarily focus on the show every week, but I do my best to get something going. And so it's just been a lot of fun. It's a nice distraction it's a great hobby.
There you go. And I'm glad to see that all the equipment is working at least somewhat properly tonight. Do you want to tell the story about how we were going? I mean, there's no time limits, right? It's not like we got to cut away to commercial. We could get into a story here.
More commercials.
All right.
Well, this episode of Make and Break Radio, as a matter of fact, is brought to you by Lady Trucker Roll-On Deodorant. When I feel like feeling classy, and if I'm feeling like I've woken up in the back of a Peterbilt sleeper cab covered in sausage gravy, smelling like Kentucky bourbon, I wear Lady Trucker Roll-On Deodorant. Roll on, Lady Trucker, roll on.
Thanks for throwing me way off. So over the winter, we decide, hey, let's do a live internet show from the VI.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Village Inn for those of you that are listening somewhere. And we have this brand new mixing board. We have 3 laptop computers set up. I have a whole music library ready to go. I've got Iron Maiden. I've got Judas Priest. I've got Megadeth. I'm ready to pump some metal and talk to the people because I unfortunately got a nasty little letter in the mail and I had lost my job in radio and I had not had a pulpit to preach from. And so we were going to rock a live show from the VI. And we are watching the time tick down, and it was supposed to start at 1 o'clock. I had told people on the internet for weeks it's going to start at 1 o'clock. Now it's 12:30. We still can't get a mic check. 12:45. Nothing going on, shaking. And Dan Calvin has beads of sweat now forming on his brow, and it is 2 below zero.
Rivulets of sweat. Yes, that's right.
So noon, nothing. 12:30, and then all of a sudden my phone rings, and it's my brother who is trying to listen in Connecticut. And he informs me, that he can hear everything that we're saying. There was a microphone in your laptop that was picking up everything that we were saying. So now, all of a sudden, I find out we have one little in-laptop microphone. No way to monitor if it's on the air or not on the air. No headphones, so I can't adjust my speaking levels. And now I have 4 hours to kill, and I can't even cut away to play a song.
Everything should have worked.
Everything should have worked. Then my phone is just going off. Hey, I can't get on. What's going on? Finally, just so I could take a breath, we get a song to play out of one laptop, and I am just holding the microphone up to the speaker out. And we wound up doing 4.5 hours, and I think I did one break that was 3 hours long.
You went off on a spree where once I had figured out that the mixer board with the two mics with booms and headphones, and we were going to have close mics so you couldn't hear the people in the crowd. You know, it was going to be awesome.
Right, the chili cook-off was going on.
It was the chili cook-off and it was going to be an awesome thing, but I could not get the Live 365 software to recognize that USB mixer. And then I finally realized the only choice I have is to hook up the mic that you're listening to right now. And you spoke into the mic, and then when you wanted to play music, you just turned the mic towards the speaker and turned up the volume. And there was your break. And once I realized that was going on, there wasn't anything more I could do. I disappeared, and I went and got a twisted tea.
Yeah, that's when the shots started going down, and I started caring less about things not working. But man, somehow we pulled it off. There were so many people listening. We crashed the website.
So many people listening that we couldn't have any more people listening to RadioMackinac.org. That was an amazing day.
I'm a little distracted. Everybody's trying to eat pasta, and the dog is licking her crotch. Right in front of me.
She has the best meal. She seems to be enjoying it.
I feel left out. I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
I'd pay her first. She bites.
So, but since then, I have gotten a job. I am at 104.5 Bob FM out of Traverse City. And we all lived happily ever after. And so happy to be on the island. Memorial Day weekend. We should mention special thanks to all the people that have served in all different branches of the military. Without them fighting for our freedom, we wouldn't be able to sit here eating pasta, watching a dog lick its crotch, and doing live internet radio.
Fascists would keep us from doing that.
Anyway, this is distracting me. My wife decides that she is going to put the lizard in an aquarium outside. It was a sunny day, and she left the lizard outside, and one way or another, whether it ate a bug that was poisonous or the sun got to it, when we finally get to the lizard, it is... I'm making faces, and I know you can't see this on the radio, but the lizard is frozen, kind of in suspended animation, with its mouth open, but its eyes still look responsive, but it was pretty stiff. It wasn't moving.
Oh, dear.
Now, I am almost asleep on the couch, and I hear my daughter screaming. Like, I'm thinking, she just slammed her finger in the door, something horrible has happened. Well, she's horrified to find her lizard outside in the aquarium, frozen like Medusa had just made eye contact. So to try anything I can, I actually, Dan Calvin, try to resuscitate the lizard. I got a bendy straw, and I put it into the lizard's mouth. And I blow into it, and then I'm pushing on her going 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000,
Staying alive.
and this whole time, my daughter's watching thinking that I might be able to bring this animal back to life. Didn't work. The lizard is dead, and I blame the addition of the dog on it. The dog is the dog of death. Am I rambling? Because I can't tell. The dog of death. We got this dog. This dog was owned by a couple, and the husband, after having the dog for a few years, develops cancer and dies. And now the widow is now the sole owner of the pug. A year later, out of nowhere, she gets cancer and dies. So the pug then goes to their only surviving family member, their daughter, who a year later develops cancer. It's not funny, and I don't mean to laugh. She develops cancer and dies. Then we get the dog. Our lizard. I didn't think it died of cancer, but it died. Then 2 of my fish that I've had for a very long time came up floating. Whether it's the dog or not, I don't know, but it definitely makes me think.
I have no idea how to even begin to respond to that. Do I go ahead and go off with a non sequitur like, "Hey, look, that clock, its time's not set properly"? Do I try to add my own kind of thing into that? Wow.
Yeah.
Coincidences are very strange in that regard, where they just get you to thinking.
Yes, and so again, back to the original statement, we're here with no kids and no animals.
All right. Well, I'm glad to hear it, and congratulations on two good years.
Well, I didn't say they were good years.
Yes, you did. Says they were.
Let's go drinking.
And it's about that time. I'm thinking that I'm going to thank everybody.
Thank the vets.
Thank you, vets. You know, I was just thinking about my grandfathers. Both grandfathers served.
The one that sold blimps? Something
yep.
like Zeppelins?
Right. Yeah, the used blimp salesman. Yeah, that's...
right. I knew it was something like that.
One grandfather served in the Aleutian Islands, and the other one served in Hawaii. Completely different ends of the planet there. And I love their stories. Still do love the stories. And they did amazing things for the sake of taking care of business.
What's your maiden name?
That's awesome. Thank you, fellas. Thank you, everybody.
I want to thank the 5 people that are listening to our show right now.
Yeah.
I could almost name you by name. Frank, thanks for listening. Actually, wait, somebody said they were listening. Anyway, listen, this has been fun. We got to do this more often. And next time I'm bringing my music library.
Sounds good to me.
I want some metal. I mean, something that's going to make you want to break some dishes.
I have some stuff I can throw into that.
Okay.